Tonight from Tel Aviv, the world watching. We are just hours away now. The remaining hostages held by Hamas set to be released, and what we've learned tonight. While back in the U.S., the dangerous nor'easter now slamming the Northeast. States of emergency in both New York and New Jersey. The powerful nor'easter gaining strength as it pushes up the East Coast. Heavy rain, flooding, and damaging winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour from the Carolinas to New York to Boston. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast, timing out the storm into tonight and tomorrow. Also tonight here, the eyes of the world now on the Middle East, these tense final hours. Cautious optimism here on the ground. 20 hostages who are still alive expected to be released by Hamas within hours here. President Trump and what he said just moments ago before heading to the region. And I'll take you to Hostage Square here in Tel Aviv. The Americans we met who said they had to be here to welcome the hostages home. Back in the U.S. tonight, a horrific weekend of deadly gun violence in multiple locations. Gunfire erupting at a crowded bar. In another horrific case, deadly gunfire outside a high school homecoming football game. Tonight, hear the harrowing new video showing a helicopter spinning out of control, crashing onto a pedestrian bridge. Multiple people hurt, including many on the ground. Day 12 tonight of the government shutdown, the threat of mass firings now a reality. And now President Trump ordering Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to use all available funds to pay more than 2 million military service members who will soon go without pay. And tonight here, the tributes to Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton. So many of her unforgettable roles, from Annie Hall to The Godfather to Something's Gotta Give. Tonight, Diane Keaton, in her own words, the advice she said she would pass on to her children, and in her memoir, what movie she revealed as her favorite.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Tel Aviv, Israel.
And good evening tonight from Tel Aviv. The tense final hours here, the world now waiting for the release of the final hostages held by Hamas. We are nearing the end of this crucial 72-hour window. The U.S. believes 20 hostages are still alive and will be released in the overnight hours, the early morning hours here in Israel. What President Trump just said about this tonight before heading to the region. But we do begin tonight back in the U.S., the dangerous nor'easter now taking aim at the Northeast tonight. States of emergency in New York and New Jersey. The powerful storm slamming the East Coast, heavy rain, flooding, and dangerous winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour from the Carolinas up through New York City, straight up into New England, Boston, and Cape Cod. Rough surf slamming the Jersey shore. A coastal flood warning remains in effect in Atlantic County at this hour. Several homes damaged along the shore in Buxton, North Carolina. Large waves crashing into the homes there. Passenger planes tonight flying into Philadelphia, battling strong winds as they were coming in for landing. Growing airport delays tonight in the Northeast, including LaGuardia and JFK in New York and Logan Airport in Boston. Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast, and ABC's Matt Rivers leads us off just outside New York City tonight.
Tonight, powerful wind gusts, surging surf, and torrential rain. Millions in the path of a slow-moving nor'easter that's wreaking havoc as it crawls up the East Coast.
You can see the high-tide surf just pummeling the beach here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, declaring a state of emergency for the wind and the rain, but also for the significant chance of beach erosion and dune breaches.
Communities bracing for winds up to 60 miles an hour. In New York City, officials worried about high winds, banning empty tractor trailers from bridges and tunnels. The system slamming the Carolinas on the Outer Banks, where they've already been battered by multiple storms this season. This vehicle spotted stranded in the sand after a dune breached. Rainfall rates over an inch an hour in some spots, inundating downtown Charleston. And these images from North Myrtle Beach showing the devastating erosion, creating massive cliffs along the beachfront. The high winds causing headaches for air travelers. More than 5,000 flights delayed and counting, mostly at Northeast airports.
And David, it's low tide here at the beach in Atlantic City, but this is a slow-moving storm. It's going to be around for a while, which means that when high tide rolls back in, the threat of coastal flooding will come back with it. That threat will be with us for another day. David?
Matt Rivers leading us off here tonight. Matt, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our New York station, WABC, tonight. Lee?
Hey, David, that coastal low is actually peaking off the Carolina coast. That's where we've had the worst weather today, whether it be flash flooding in South Carolina or major coastal flooding going all the way up to Virginia, rain extending into the Northeast. This low trapped by this high. The storm goes on for a couple of days. So ranking the impacts, it's all coastal, whether it be the flooding or beach erosion or high winds. Warnings, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake Bay, Jersey Shore to Long Island. 3 feet of inundation, severe coastal flooding right through the day on Monday. The wind gusts could go up to 60 miles an hour, cause damage from Ocean City to Atlantic City to Montauk. Even New York City with 40-mile-per-hour gusts that have some tree limbs down. And again, this goes into tomorrow. A second low forms off the Jersey Shore, brings the brunt to the northeast tonight into tomorrow morning with the strongest winds and heaviest rain. Even when the low weakens and the showers become more scattered, we'll still see severe coastal effects into tomorrow. David?
Lee Goldberg with us here on a Sunday night. Lee, thank you. We turn now to the historic developments unfolding at this hour, the eyes of the world right here on the Middle East. A huge crowd in Hostage Square here in Tel Aviv today, the tense final hours. Cautious optimism, 20 hostages who are still alive, expected to be released by Hamas within hours here. President Trump and what he said just moments ago before heading to the region, and I'll take you right down to Hostage Square, the Americans we met who said they had to be here to welcome the hostages home. But first, our chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell on what's expected to unfold with just hours to go here.
Tonight, the long, painful wait almost over. The last remaining captives held by Hamas will soon be reunited with their loved ones. President Trump heading to the region to meet with hostage families and address the Israeli parliament tomorrow, before travelling to Egypt with world leaders for a Middle East peace summit.
They have the hostages. I understand all 20. And we may get them out a little bit early. Getting them was amazing, actually, because we were involved and they were in places that you don't want to know about.
Hamas set to release all 20 hostages still believed to be alive. The deceased hostages include the last female and Americans Oma Nutra and Itai Chen. Some are expected to be returned tomorrow, though not all the bodies have been recovered.
It's a mixed bag of emotions. On one hand, there's the excitement of what is going to wait for us in 24 hours from now, but also there's a lot of anxiety.
In exchange, Israel says it'll release nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. In Gaza today, desperate crowds swarming aid trucks as hundreds of thousands of Palestinians return to what's left of their homes, as they too recover the bodies of their loved ones from under the rubble. This was the most beautiful place, Mahmoud Abu Amira said, standing near the rubble of his home. Life isn't life anymore. Imagine your house, your memories, your work, your school, your whole world being destroyed.
David, in a few hours, there'll be closure and celebrations for many, but some hostages feared to be severely ill. And because of the destruction, not all bodies will have been found by tomorrow. And for their families, the agonizing wait goes on. David?
No question about that. Ian Pannell right here in Tel Aviv with us. Ian, thank you. President Trump will first fly to Israel and then to Egypt tomorrow, where the ceasefire agreement will then be finalized. Let's get right to ABC's chief international correspondent, James Longman, in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt tonight. James?
David, President Trump and Egyptian President Sisi will host a large group of world leaders here in Sharm el-Sheikh tomorrow to finalize that Gaza ceasefire deal and discuss a longer-lasting peace. Trump will come directly from Israel, where hopefully we will have seen those hostages released. But then really the harder work begins. Those world leaders are going to discuss Trump's 20-point plan, which includes getting Hamas to disarm, discussing who will rebuild and govern a future Gaza, and yes, the possibility of a Palestinian state. There is a lot to discuss. David?
James Longman in Egypt for us. James, thank you. And back here in Tel Aviv tonight, for the families of the hostages, an excruciating 2-year ordeal could now be nearing its end. What we found as we walked through Hostage Square not long ago here. Tonight, with just hours to go before the hostages are expected to be released, we walk through what's become known as Hostages Square here in Tel Aviv. Everywhere you look, reminders of the hostages taken captive by Hamas, their faces, their stories. Here in Hostage Square, you can see the crowds gathered here on the eve of what will be the day that they have been hoping for so long. Prayers and song here as they wait for the hostages to be released. The crowd quietly singing Alleluia. There is cautious optimism here, a mother and her son. Are you nervous in these final hours?
Yes. Yeah. Very nervous. Yes.
Hoping.
Yes. Hoping
that what's been promised happens.
A lot of hope, yes.
We notice the yellow ribbons here too. Amit wearing one in her hair and one on her jacket, just as she has done for 2 years and 5 days now.
You've had this yellow ribbon on for a long time now, huh?
Yeah, a really long time. I'm very happy to take it off tomorrow, next week, when we can, even though it's probably not going to be full behind us. We have a lot of healing to do.
We meet a young American man from Los Angeles. Tuvia Kramer was here when news of the ceasefire broke. He told me he had to stay to see the hostages return.
To be here in the hours before these hostages are supposed to be freed.
To live for 2 years with hostages, and you see the videos coming out where they're not really getting fed, and you have promises here and there where there's supposed to be a deal, it doesn't go through, and finally you're really in those final moments.
The final moments before they could see some of those faces again. And we met this man, wearing the face of his own father on his shirt. Rotem Cooper is waiting for his 84-year-old father's remains to be returned. Both of his parents were taken captive by Hamas. His mother was released. He never saw his father again. In addition to the hostages now expected to come home soon, he's hoping the remains of loved ones come home too.
And now you wait for your father's remains.
Yeah, I think that's it's surreal kind of to think that if we are suspecting not all of the hostages that are no longer alive going to be returned within the 72 hours window. The lucky one, so to speak, which is a weird thing to say, that you were going to be going to a funeral.
While we were in the square, it is impossible to miss. The wait so far for so many here, 736 days, 14 hours, 42 minutes, and counting.
And that clock will, of course, continue to count until those hostages are home. ABC News will have live coverage of the hostage release once it begins. Our team right here throughout the region, we will come back on the air with major developments as they unfold over these next crucial hours here. Meantime, back in the U.S. tonight, a horrific weekend of deadly gun violence in multiple locations. At least 4 people were killed, more than a dozen injured when gunfire erupted at a popular bar on St. Helena Island off South Carolina. Police investigating multiple persons of interest. And at least 6 people were shot and killed during a homecoming party following a high school football game in Leland, Mississippi. Police searching tonight for suspects in both incidents. Tonight, day 12 of the government shutdown. President Trump now ordering Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to use, quote, all available funds to pay 2 million troops set to miss a paycheck on Wednesday. The White House using the shutdown to fire an estimated 4,000 federal workers. And tonight, a warning that that number will rise. Mass layoffs already at HHS, the Department of Education, and the Treasury. Tonight here, the tributes are pouring in for Oscar-winning actor Diane Keaton. She was an original. From Annie Hall to The Godfather to Something's Gotta Give. Tonight, Diane Keaton, in her own words, her humor, her talent, her kindness, and she reveals which movie was her favorite.
Hi.
Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton was original in every way. Her singular style. She was bold, fearless, independent.
Yes, I definitely think that this is the best of all possible worlds.
Starring in some 100 movie and television roles.
You say you love me, and then you talk about allowing me to leave.
Opposite Al Pacino, playing a mob wife in the Godfather trilogy.
Don't you hate me? You hate me?
No, I don't hate you. I dread you. God,
winning an Oscar for Best Actress in Woody Allen's Annie Hall, a role she was often compared to in real life.
Oh, God, Annie. Well. La-di-da, la-di-da.
I never said la-di-da in my life until he wrote it. But I was a person who, as you know, couldn't complete a sentence, so he did get that right.
She was nominated for 3 more Oscars over her storied career, opposite Warren Beatty in Reds in 1981, opposite Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Meryl Streep in Marvin's Room in 1996.
I love you very much.
Years later, Meryl Streep would present an American Film Institute Lifetime Achievement Award to her friend Diane.
Diane Keaton, arguably the most covered-up person in the history of clothes, is also a transparent woman. There's nobody who stands more exposed, more undefended, and just willing to show herself inside and out than Diane. Can't imagine the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s without you. Love you, Diane. So does everybody.
The truth is, it goes by fast, doesn't it?
Like the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
In her memoir, Diane Keaton would reveal her favorite film was Something's Gotta Give.